Hi everyone, my name's Taika Waititi. It's essentially a contemporary film, and it's about this kid here whose name is Boy, very original name, and luckily he is a boy, and he's growing up in the middle of nowhere in New Zealand, in the country. He's an imaginative, very cool kid who doesn't really know his dad. Sad face. But he loves to fantasize about who his dad is, and he's in love with Michael Jackson, so he kind of fantasizes maybe his dad is Michael Jackson. His dad arrives home from being away in jail for a few years, and Boy now has to reconcile the fantasy image of his dad with the reality of who his dad is. It's a very original and beautiful story about growing up and about it's about families and about the disconnect that we have within families and really about, I guess, the time when you first realized that your heroes are flawed. Well, I wanted to tell a story set in a time that I knew, which was the 80s in New Zealand, and it was a really cool time to grow up. The story came from the idea that I wanted to show this area of New Zealand on film. This has never been shot before, and it's way out in the country in the middle of nowhere. It really confirms that although you can set a film in a very different place with different people and accents that you might not be able to understand too easily. I mean, it is English. Despite all that, you can still have a universal story that means something. Despite all that, we are essentially the same. I made a short film that this is sort of slightly based on, and it's about kids growing up in the country, and that film did really well. I got nominated for an Oscar for that. After that, I decided to write the short into a feature, and that's really where this came from. Sometimes, it's very hard to make a transition from the short film world into the feature film, just like a short story writer might not make a very good novelist. And so my concern was, am I going to be able to do this? And I felt like this story probably wouldn't have been able to handle the bumps of a first-time filmmaker. So I went off and made another feature before this, which was called Eagle versus Shark, and that film was a great experience. So that's really how I learned how to make a feature, and then I came back to this script a year and a half later. My advice is to keep having fun with this process of making short stuff. Work with your friends, collaborate with your friends, make mistakes, like experiment, and especially at this phase, especially doing films like this with this film equipment that these guys are giving you, and with any any opportunity you get to make short films, really embrace the mistakes and take risks. Obstacles and restrictions equal imagination and really amazing outcomes. So just enjoy all that process. Enjoy it, because once you start getting paid and having to deal with idiots who are at the top of the food chain, that's when it becomes slightly less fun. So this is the time now to enjoy it.